सनिधमगरिसनि जतीस्वरं समगमदनिसनि जतीस्वरं जतीस्वरं सनिधमगरिसनि जतीस्वरं 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 जतीस्वरं.
Namaskaram, I am Sashikala Sriram. Silambam mylapore is proud to present the next episode in our Jathiswaram series. We hope you have been following the new direction the series is taking, as the previous episode was on kuchipudi. Any guesses what we have lined up for you this time? Sreyashi Dey is one of the foremost exponents of Odissi in the US. She is the founder and artistic director of Sreyashi Dances of India and Akshara, an Ann Arbor, Michigan-based multi-arts organization which conducts the Rasa Festival, featuring artists from all over the world and across genres. She regularly tours the US and has performed all over the world to critical acclaim in leading media, both in the US and in India. She is also the recipient of several grants and awards, notably the Harry Schwab Excellence in Arts Award. She is also the founder of Sparsh, a non-profit organization that established a pediatric heart surgery program for underprivileged children. Her educational background includes an MS in economics and an MBA, with parallel careers in marketing, administration and non-profit. Srimati Sreyashi was also previously a Bharatanatyam exponent. Being the thoughtful artist, she is constantly expanding her horizons through choreographies and collaborations across artistic genres. Extremely happy to have you with us today, ma'am, and to hear your thoughts as both a Bharatanatyam and an Odissi artist. Can you please tell us about the item Pallavi of Odissi? How is it similar to the Jathiswaram of Bharatanatyam, and in what ways is it different? We are also very eager to watch your performance. Can you tell us something about what you're planning?
Namaste. Hello. It's a great honor and a delight for me to be a part of this wonderful series that is being curated by my dear friend Padma S. Raghavan. As you may have heard in the introduction, I started my dance career as a Bharatanatyam dancer. I started learning that dance style as a little child and continued with it till I did my Arangetram, after which I switched over to the Odissi style. Although I don't perform Bharatanatyam anymore, I continue to remain very interested, and of course the background gives me some idea about the parallels between the two styles, especially when it comes to Nritta that is being featured in this series. In Odissi, like in other Indian classical dance styles, the repertoire is divided mainly into Nritta, which is rhythmic pure dance, and Nritya, which is interpretive or Abhinaya-based dance. In Odissi, there are two pieces that fall into the Nritta or rhythmic dance category. The first is a short piece called Batu, and the other main piece, which is part of the Nritta aspect of Odissi, is the Pallavi. Pallavi literally means blossoming, which means that along with the melody or the music for the piece, the dance slowly develops from a slow tempo into a fast-paced crescendo. Along the way, the dance interprets the complexity of the musical structure, and Pallavis are based on specific ragas, so as the raga unfolds, so does the dance. The Odissi style developed after India's independence. Gurus, scholars, and dancers got together and worked together to develop this style from the remaining living traditions of the Gotipua and Mahari styles by looking at temple sculptures and old texts as well as music traditions, and recreated the dance style. The two living traditions that I mentioned The first one was the Mahari style, which is Devadasis or women who danced inside the Puri Jagannath temple as service to Lord Jagannath at various times of day. While they mainly sang and danced to devotional songs, especially from the Gita Govinda, their dance also consisted a little bit of rhythmic dances. The other living tradition was the Gotipua style, which means the style which was performed by young boys, an acrobatic style. These boys dressed up as girls and performed this vigorous acrobatic style of dance. Influences from both these traditions have come into the Odissi repertoire of today. The Pallavi occupies a very central place in the repertoire. Unlike Jathiswaram, which is perhaps not performed as much in a Margam style performance anymore, the Pallavi is very critical. No full Odissi performance is complete without the dancer performing a Pallavi. Sometimes maybe even two if it's a long, full performance. I also wanted to mention one of the unique things about the rhythmic aspect of the Odissi Pallavi. As you may know, the Odissi rhythms are played out on a drum called the Mardala. It looks like the Hindustani music Pakhawaj, but it is actually slightly different, and it has been adapted specifically for the Odissi music and dance. One of the interesting things about Odissi music is that perhaps because of the geographic situation of the state of Odisha, it is somewhere in between the Hindustani and the Carnatic styles of music. While it draws inspiration from both, the ragas and the melodies in the Odissi style are uniquely from Odisha. They have the flavor of the land, and that is also reflected in the dance. Coming back to the rhythm for the dance and the music of Odissi, the rhythms are played out on the Mardala, and one of the unique things is that the rhythmic syllables are also spoken and they are recited during a Pallavi. So along with the swaras, along with the melody that is sung, the rhythmic syllables, which are known as ukutas, are also spoken by the Mardala artist, and they go along with the music. And of course, those are also reflected in the foot movements of the dancer and how that is choreographed along with the ukutas. So the combination of the melody which is sung and the ukutas which are recited, the rhythmic syllables, and the playing of the Mardala along with the feet movements, the percussive feet movements along with the sound of the ghungru creates a unique musical and movement pattern which is, I think, beautiful to watch. Pallavis, as I mentioned, are based on specific ragas. Some very famous ones are the ones which are set to ragas Shankaravaran, Saveri, Aravi, Mohana, etc. The ones I mentioned were all choreographed by one of the main founding fathers and the doyen of the Odissi style, Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra. He worked closely with Pandit Bhuvaneshwar Mishra, who developed and composed the music for these Pallavis, and these have become immortal compositions, both in terms of the dance and the music. Pallavi literally means blossoming. The dance develops slowly as the music unfolds. We start with movements, little movements of eyes, the neck, torso, etc., before moving on to full body movements, feet movements, and more complex rhythmic structures. As the music develops, so does the dance. The complexity increases, and finally it ends in a climax or crescendo. which makes the full blossoming of the Pallavi complete. Having been a Bharatanatyam dancer in what seems to be my past life, but really was in my youth, I had an interest in exploring both the Odissi and the Bharatanatyam styles together. Keeping this in mind, I developed a project of Jugalbandi between Odissi and Bharatanatyam. I started working on this in 2004, and I recorded the music together with 2 sets of orchestras playing together. At that time, I developed both Nritta and Nritya pieces, starting with an invocatory piece, which was the Mangalacharan or Pushpanjali, moving on to a Nritya piece, which was a Jugalbandi between the Odissi Pallavi and the Jathiswaram or the Tilana of the Bharatanatyam style, as well as an Abhinaya, which was the Shavatar. I'm very excited to also present this Jugalbandi for you in this series. When I mentioned to Padma that I have this work, she was also excited, and we are looking forward to featuring that in the series. But in addition to showing you that Jugalbandi work, I will also present a short excerpt from a Pallavi, which of course is not from a performance, but during these times of the pandemic, I will perform in my home, but it will give you an idea about how the Odissi Pallavi develops slowly and builds up to a final climax. I would like to thank Padma again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to come to you with the Odissi Pallavi, and alongside also present a Jugalbandi work with the Bharatanatyam style, and including Jathiswaram and Tilana. Thank you. Namaste.
Great. Thank you so much for explaining it to us, ma'am. I'm sure students and senior artists alike would have enjoyed it immensely. Dear viewers, do watch out for the performance that will follow. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.